Here's where it stops being funny with Jasmine. Here's where it crosses into dangerous.
And we absolutely will win this war.
We have to keep our eye on the war, and everybody needs to pick up a weapon. And
check out the host of Pick Up Weapons. This that you just saw is incitement. I cannot stand hypocrisy. This woman's picture would be next to it in the dictionary.
We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now in Donald Trump.
AOC sits there and she calls it uneducated. And then she goes on to say this.
We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake.
Here's some actual brain think when it comes to illegal immigrants.
All these mixed status families, $8.5 billion of tax collection in California every year from undocs. $8.5 billion that we receive just at the state level of taxes. That was the last Pew estimate.
Welcome to Stay in the Fray podcast. I'm your host, Ryan. This is where headlines get hit hard, hypocrisy gets shredded, and the absurd are laughed at. If you want comfort, this isn't your place. If you want blunt and unfiltered, I'm your guy. Join me in the fray.
All you gotta do is just listen up.
All right, hey everyone. Could someone please explain to me how anyone can align with the modern liberal right now, the woke lefty? And I say that because the more and more I look at them and their behavior, I just don't understand how somebody looks at this circus and says, hell yeah, that's leadership. Because what they're serving up is not even policy. It's not solutions. It's not even debate. It's slander and lies, and it's empty rhetoric dressed up as politics. They expect you to clap like seals as they torch the country, and I just don't get it. I want to remind you of some of these self-proclaimed champions of the so-called New Democratic Party. That's my goal of this episode, at least. I do it quite a bit, though. But this one more so than others. These are their quote-unquote top choices. They're hopefuls. They're stars. And it's not just sad and a little funny at times. It's dangerous. It's getting more and more dangerous. These people do not deal in facts. They don't deal in reality. They deal in lies, slander, and empty rhetoric. Instead of learning from their failures, they double down every time. They cannot credit a single positive thing from their opposition, even when it's right in front of their face. They'd rather see the country crash and burn than admit that they're wrong. And now that refusal has turned into something darker, condoning violence, spreading hate, fueling chaos straight from their own side. This is not comedy, though trust me, you'll laugh at the stupidity. It's proof that the modern left has nothing left but desperation in the form of rhetoric and misinformation. They just say stuff. So join me as we shred them. This is Stay in the Fray podcast. It is September the 29th, 2025. Let's roll. First, I'm going to give you the look that I give to every single one of these people. Jasmine Crockett. Let's say it. This woman is not a politician. She's a walking joke. How she is anywhere near a government position is beyond me. Her professional victim tactics must resonate with the district or something. Be better, people of that district. She is clueless. She doesn't bring any ideas. She doesn't bring policy. What she brings every single time is race baiting, slander, and a never-ending stream of nonsense. And it's not a one-off. This is her brand. Just in case you've forgotten the elegance of Miss Crockett, allow me to remind you. Take a look.
Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes. He is. But
Don't need to play anymore, really. That's the level of sophistication that she brings, and it's hard to beat. Again, it's not debate. It's just facts. Listen to that clip. Go look it up. There's nothing after it. I didn't pull it, and then all of a sudden she goes off on some great, substantial argument. There's nothing. She just calls name like a teenager on Instagram comments, and she sits there and rips jeans, no less. This is what passes for a serious Democrat voice today. She's not offering arguments. She's offering bar talk. It's trash. You can't call that leadership unless the standard is scream loud profanity and hope somebody claps. There's like 40 people there, I think, that maybe clapped, and they're clueless. So now that we've been reintroduced to Jasmine, check out this brilliance. Roll it.
I do want people to know that just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons.
I'm just going to stare for you. Let that soak in. Stop, Jasmine. Just stop. This is criminally stupid in and of itself. Imagine trying that in court. Yeah, Your Honor, my client robbed 3 stores, but he's not a criminal. His mindset doesn't match that. He only committed a crime. That's different. Check out the dude who's interviewing her. Did you see him? He's like, oh, yeah. Seemed awfully confused. This is the intellectual rot of the modern left and their champions. They make no sense. It's void of reality. They're just saying words and putting them together. Here's where it stops being funny with Jasmine. Here's where it crosses into dangerous. Check this out.
But this is a war. This isn't a battle. And we absolutely will win this war.
It is a war. It is indeed a war. And I have to say, they have won some battles, Jasmine, but we have to keep our eye on the war, and everybody needs to pick up a weapon and get involved, because this is for the safety and lasting of the country.
There it is. This is war. Check out the host. Pick up weapons. Let me be crystal clear. This that you just saw is incitement. This is the very thing that they're accusing the right and Donald Trump of every day. They continue to cry about their only talking point of violence, which was January 6th, and more's coming out on that. They scream about threats to democracy and all this bullshit. And then they sit on a stage and shout about war, weapons, literally fighting each other. This isn't a slip of the tongue. This is their strategy. They thrive on chaos because chaos is the excuse for them to have more control. Crockett is not here to unite, not here to solve problems. She is here to stir the pot until it boils over, no matter who gets burned. Jasmine Crockett is just embarrassing. She's dangerous. She may like that label. And the fact that the Democrats parade her around like she's some sort of rising star, it tells you everything you need to know about the modern left. They reward division. They reward hate. They reward the chaos. It's all they have left. Oh, Kamala Harris. Honestly, this woman is the walking definition of failure up. She couldn't even get her own state to support her. She bombed out of the primaries before it even got to Iowa. She was shoved into the VP role because no one actually wanted her. And now, somehow she thinks people care what she has to say. She even wrote a book. Who gives a shit about that? What's it about? How to act drunk during interviews, how to answer serious policy questions with word salads about fucking coconuts. She claims she barely lost in 2024. Okay, Kamala. Every swing state went to Trump. The popular vote went to Trump. The electoral college was significantly in favor of Trump. Without the illegal vote, actually, it probably would have been even worse for you. Kamala slurs through interviews like she just polished off a bottle of Chardonnay. Every time she opens her mouth, it's either a cackle or a contradiction. She does not debate. She projects. Go watch. She doesn't lead. She points fingers. That's all she knows how to do. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is one of their hopefuls still. All right, let me just show you an example of this. I cannot stand hypocrisy. This woman's picture would be next to it in the dictionary. Play this, boys.
And right now we are dealing with, as I called him at my speech on the ellipse, a tyrant. We used to compare the strength of our democracy to communist dictators. That's what we're dealing with right now, Donald Trump. And these titans of industry are not speaking up. And perhaps it is because his threats and the way he has used the weight of the federal government to take out vengeance on his critics is something that they fear, and I get that. I understand why they do. We've seen the demonstration of it. Perhaps it is because they want to please him and nominate him for a Nobel Prize. Perhaps it's because they want a merger approved or they want to avoid an investigation. But at some point, they've got to stand up.
Really? He's going after his critics, or is he going after actual criminals where evidence is involved? We're dealing with a tyrant, she says, a communist dictator in Donald Trump. I'll get to that in a second. But first, she seems to mock him for being nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, Kamala, he's earned that. He brokered the Abraham Accords, normalizing relations between Israel, the UAE, and Bahrain. He reduced tensions in North Korea, so much so that Kim Jong-un literally walked across the DMZ. He crushed ISIS, he eliminated Baghdadi, and he set border policies that actually worked. He helped cool down the India-Pakistan conflict this year before it escalated into something catastrophic between two countries with nuclear capabilities. And in Africa, his administration pushed peace efforts that brought Sudan to the table with Israel, oversaw the DRC-Rwanda Accord, and even witnessed Armenia and Azerbaijan, I think I said that kind of close, they committed to a corridor deal to end decades of bloodshed between the two. Do you need any more receipts? That's foreign policy. That's peace through strength. And that is why he should be elected for a Nobel Peace Prize. Why did your boy Obama get elected and get one? He started and continued wars all over the world. And what have you done? A book no one's going to read? A word salad speech that even your staff stops clapping for halfway through? You are nothing. Now back to the initial claim. This idea that Trump is a communist dictator. Oh, what was the other word? A tyrant. A trifecta of buzzwords. How about this? She's asked about her support for Zohran Mamdani, an actual communist running for mayor in NYC. Play it.
What do you think of him and his candidacy? And what do you think of mainline Democratic shyness and agitation about the prospect that he's going to win?
Look, as far as I'm concerned, he's the Democratic nominee and he should be supported.
Do you endorse his candidacy?
I support the Democrat in the race, sure. But let me just...
Goodness. Essentially, basically, she says he's the Democrat candidate. So, yes, I'll back him. That's it. No thought, no reflection. Just, he's on my team. So, Trump is the dictator while she's openly supporting an actual communist. It's hypocrisy in its purest form. And she wonders why nobody likes her. Kamala is not a leader by any means. She is a placeholder, a warm body in a pantsuit propped up to fill a space the party could not otherwise fill. It still can't, really. She failed as a candidate. She failed as VP. And now she's failing at pretending she has any credibility. Here's the truth. The reason Kamala attacks Trump with these empty labels is because she has no record of her own. Nothing positive to stand on. So all she can do is project and hope somebody claps. But America already answered Kamala. We do not want you. We sure as hell don't buy into your rhetoric. Go away. Or don't. You make my side look better and better every time you open that salad bar of a mouth. Whew, these people get me riled up. Right in time. Of course, the bartender turned Democrat star herself, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And why is she one of their stars? Because she's loud, she's smug, and she parrots the talking points extremely well. That's it. She's not a thinker. She's not a leader. She's just a glorified TikTok reel in Congress. Her district is worse off. Her speeches are cringe. And yet the left props her up like she's the future. If she's the future, God help us. I did not want to talk about Charlie Kirk and his assassination anymore. I spoke on it, and I meant to move on from it and let everybody mourn and heal. But AOC's words in the wake of Charlie's death in Congress speak to how disgusting and flat out misinformed they are. It's one thing to be a piece of shit troll on the internet that's celebrating and giving misinformation. It's another to hold a seat in Congress and say these things. Roll this one, guys.
His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans, far from the working tirelessly to promote unity, unquote, asserted by the majority in this resolution.
You got to be kidding me. Charlie Kirk spent his life talking about civil conversation, equal value for every person, and faith in this country. He literally brought hundreds of black leaders to the White House and told them, believe in yourself. This is your country too. That's unity. That's equality. And AOC sits there and she calls it uneducated. She obviously hasn't listened to a single word that Charlie actually said. She doesn't care. Because if she did, her entire narrative crumbles. And then she goes on to say this.
Majority proceeded with a resolution that brings great pain to the millions of Americans who endured segregation, Jim Crow, and the legacy of bigotry today. We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake.
I gotta stop it. I think she babbles for another minute or two, but this is where she shows that she's not just ignorant, she's malicious. Because she knows damn well what Charlie said. And if she doesn't, she needs to go look before she opens her fucking mouth. He did not say the Civil Rights Act itself was a mistake. Ever. He said the way it was written was a mistake because they jammed it full of garbage that had nothing to do with ending discrimination. That's nuance. That's fact. But nuance doesn't sell her brand. So instead, she twists his words and weaponizes them against him, somebody who isn't even alive to defend himself. That's the left in a nutshell. They scream about hate while spreading it, like I've said. They scream about dangerous rhetoric while smearing a man who preached about conversation over violence. This is not leadership. This is propaganda. AOC is not interested in the truth. She's interested in demonizing her opponents at any cost, even if it means spinning on a man's legacy days after his death. And that's why AOC is oddly dangerous, because her entire brand is hate dressed up as virtue. She doesn't build anything. She tears down. She just says things. It doesn't matter if there's any substance, accuracy, or truth to it. The sickest part is that the left cheers her on for it. All right, how about the next poster boy for the Dems? The man who thinks hair gel is a personality trait, Gavin Newsom. California is collapsing under his leadership. People are fleeing his state in record numbers. Businesses are gone. Crime is through the roof. Yet the Democrats float him like he's some really possible presidential hopeful. If this guy is their backup plan, then they've got nothing. And we should just smile. Let's start with this clip. It's very odd. Play it, guys. Play it. I'll talk about it after.
Right now, I feel strange. It's interesting. I've been on a journey like most people, feeling great, feeling stressed, feeling doubtful. The last 2 days, I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe the dust settling after Madison Square Garden. Seeing how that went, like kind of a roller coaster. But something's happened the last few days, and I'm telling you, that Des Moines Register poll, I mean, I don't know. I don't expect Iowa necessarily going in the blue column, but it says something to me that is of outsized importance potentially in terms of the outcome of this race. So I'm feeling honestly much better than I was.
I almost laughed during I could say, what the hell is he babbling about? First off, I'm not going to say that he's on something, but look at him. That's not just passionate. That's twitchy. It's the energy of a guy who just got caught lying and is trying to wave it away with interpretive dance. What was all this? If your governor looks like he's auditioning for a mime show, perhaps you should rethink your vote. All right, I can make fun of his actions all day. Here's some actual brain think when it comes to illegal immigrants. Roll it.
All these mixed status families, $8.5 billion of tax collection in California every year from undocs. $8.5 billion that we receive just at the state level of taxes. That was the last Pew estimate. So it's not insignificant. Backbone, I mean, it's half of our agriculture work. You care about farmers and ranchers? If that's what your number one go-to commitment, then you sure as hell should care about their workers. 41% of our construction workers, Texas and California have the highest percentage of their construction workers that would fall into that category. How the hell do we rebuild Altadena and Palisades? We're going to need a peak next year. We estimate about 70,000 workers.
Anybody know what he did wrong there? Illegal immigrants pay $8.5 billion in taxes is what he said. He's so proud of that number. Now, Gavin, how about doing the other side of the ledger? How much does it cost to have them here? Healthcare, housing, schools, law enforcement, billions upon billions more than your cherry-picked tax figure. You don't balance books by just showing the deposits, Governor Hairgel. Try again. And he follows it up with this gem about farmers. If you care about farmers, then you damn better care about their workers. Really? So your big message, Gavin, is that illegal immigrants are only capable of farm labor? Or that legal Americans somehow can't do the job? You're not championing workers. You're insulting them. If they're here illegally, they are here illegally, period. It's not complicated. I do not understand why this is such an issue. It's so hard for you to understand. The law is the law. Gavin treats law like it's optional suggestions. And then there's this ridiculous social media stunt that he's trying to pull. Take a look at an example of this. He's got this he's tweeting now, or he's posting now under Governor Newsom press office, and he's got the capital and the exclamation points and all that, just like Donald. It says, JD Just Dance Vance, who nobody liked until Trump picked him, not true, out of the bargain bin in the Walmart clearance section, went on Fox to trash me. Gavin C. Newsom, America's most popular governor. The dancing queen can't stop. I live rent-free in his head, a very tiny space. I mean, he's trying to maybe talk like Trump has done in the past, or nicknaming people or something. It's pathetic. I mean, he thinks mimicking Trump's social media style is some sort of clever. I don't know what he's trying to do. It's not comedy. It's definitely not leadership. This is equivalent to like a kindergartner saying, "I know you are, but what am I?" You're the governor of California, not the class clown. And by the way, the fact that you live rent free in JD Vance's head, dude, He didn't give a shit about you, and you stalked him on social media while he was on vacation with his family at Disneyland. Who's obsessed with who? You're sitting behind a keyboard all day on social media while your state burns. Here's the truth. Gavin Newsom is a joke. His policies have destroyed California. His ambition outweighs his competence. And his idea of leadership is mocking the guy who actually gets results. If this is their backup quarterback, the Democratic playbook is empty. I could go on and on about all of these people, but I'll keep it short. Let me end today with some comic relief. Beto O'Rourke, the guy who just can't take a hint. Texas has rejected him a lot, over and over. Senate run, lost. Governor run, lost. Presidential run, embarrassing. And yet here he is again. He's still hanging around like the awkward dude at the party that nobody invited. Here's his latest moment of brilliance. I'm not sure exactly how long ago it was, but it was fairly recent. Check this out.
Next time we win power, we're going to drive that car like we stole it. We're going to legalize every dreamer's parents, every hardworking American doing backbreaking work that makes this country so goddamn great in the first place, even greater as U.S. citizens.
Oh, man. First off, Beto, the only thing you've ever stolen is campaign donations before crashing another race. The only car you're driving is straight into a ditch. Again. And listen to what he's saying. He's openly calling for breaking immigration law. Forget the people waiting years in line. Forget sovereignty. Forget basic fairness. Nope, just hand out citizenship like candy at Halloween. That's not policy. That's reckless pandering. And his delivery, it's peak beta male energy. It's like he's apologizing for existing while simultaneously yelling into a megaphone. He has this weird, sorry for being white vibe that bleeds through every time he tries to act passionate. Newsflash, Beto, self-loathing is not a campaign strategy that will work very well. Beto is the perfect capstone for this episode. A failed candidate, a failed leader, and a failed idea of what the Democrats think people want. Nobody in Texas buys it. Nobody nationally buys it. But he keeps going, like the Energizer Bunny of political failure. So let's just say it. Beto O'Rourke is proof that not everyone belongs in politics. Sometimes the voters are right, and they've told him over and over again to go home. All right, I've torched these people. We tried to laugh about it because we've seen just how pathetic the so-called stars of the modern left really are. But here's the part that is not funny. Weak-minded people buy this crap every single day. They're indoctrinated by misinformation and false rhetoric. That's how clowns like this get elected in certain districts and why they keep popping up as roadblocks when anything serious needs to get done. The people who listen to them don't dig any deeper. They don't want to. They cling to the idea that they are the ones hated instead of recognizing that they're the ones spreading the hate. And sadly, those same people are the ones trashing cities with Antifa, burning businesses, rioting in the streets, and yes, even beginning to kill people in the name of politics. So if you're one of those people, please hear this. It is not too late. Be rational. I don't say this to mock you. I say it to wake you up and to welcome you. Look under the surface. Peel back the nonsense. Ask yourself if the people you're cheering for are actually making your life better, or if they're just feeding you a script of division. That's why I do this show. I want to rip off the masks and show you what's underneath. I cannot do it alone. So share this, spread it, send me a message, comment on anything. Help me break through the noise. Stay awake, stay strong, stay free, stay in the fray. Love you guys.
All you gotta do is just listen up.